responsible.
This is a warning to the casters. Please turn off team comms, otherwise you're going to hear.
In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Right, hello everybody and welcome. Should very quickly be getting into things. So they've just finished up the 9th round. The pistol has literally just started. The early aggression has worked out in a kill for Lancaster Bombers in the hands of Big Iron. Of course, Lancaster, the winner of the previous season, up against, I believe, the Hertz SU Esports Society. Kills galore right now for Lancaster, as it is Tobbs, one of the more effective players for sure on that CT side after the previous season. And now the 1 versus 5, and Tobbs is, of course, going to find simply 2k. So yeah, welcome back everybody to the very first day, very first week of our spring championship here at NUEL. See if Lancaster Bombers are able to keep a hold of their title or not. Should hopefully have everything in order for our very first return stream. But as you can see here, pretty easy going so far for Lancaster. They've got themselves just a couple of rifles and some SMGs. Tobbs actually gets taken down there, but fortunately Oak is just right behind to trade him, make sure that no one's able to get a hold of the M4. We'll eventually pick it up actually in the hands of Neon Doodle. See what he is able to do with that. He's able to pick up any more frags. I think at this point, getting the bomb down is pretty much the overall goal. Matt will make sure Neon Doodle doesn't do any more damage. Now left all on Get Robin. 1 versus 3. Can't even get the bomb down in the end there, so pretty clean round in the end for the CT side. Did lose a few players. Just making sure, do I have the all X-ray control? Because our X-ray doesn't seem to be on. There we go. Cool. Got that all sorted. So, again, should be an easy 3rd round here. Not quite sure what is going on there. Camera's messing up the camera operator. Of course, being perky, but not quite sure. GoTV always has those kind of small issues. Oak finds the first kill onto Neon Doodle. It should be a pretty easy going round here. They're up against a few upgraded pistols, but other than that, not much to be writing home about. Tobbs getting himself a nice little 3k there. Loving those eco frags, an extra $1,800 in the bank. Trying to find the 4k as well, and he will. Takes down simply 2k. But now this is around where things start to shape up a little bit more. Because, of course, you've got the case of the first buy round of this game, of this half. Alright, boys. The first gun round coming in now. The very first of our 2nd season. So it would seem. There's a fair amount of utility on the CT side. Sort of going for a non-upgrade round here as well. Keeping a hold of the 3 SMGs. Big Iron, though, picks himself a 2k at Monster. And now Matt's chiming in with a couple of his own. And this push has just been completely shut down here by Lancaster. Neon Doodle is in the 1 versus 5 situation. All alone. Doesn't have the bomb. Doesn't have any nades at all. So it looks like it's pretty much going to be an easy 4-0 for Lancaster here. Off to a very strong start to this season. Bodes well going into things. I would imagine they are the top seeded team this season due to the fact that they won last season. It would make sense. You would expect. Trying to keep a hold of this AK here. Maybe do a little bit of damage, but ultimately looking to take this into the 2nd round. Big Iron does spot out the legs, but the kill actually goes the way of Neon Doodle. He's left on 17 HP now, and His position is known. It's still a huge ask, but it looks like he's going to try and go for it, but just immediately gets shut down there in the end by Matt.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can indeed.
All right, wonderful. I've sorted out. I've been able to connect.
Fair enough. Yes, I was
Right.
keeping it a bit secret to the audience that there's actually a second caster joining me. Of course, Chris was here last season. Just had a bit of an issue connecting to the server, so didn't really want to bring you in if you weren't ready, you know.
It's nothing an IT technician like me can't sort out. Just turn it off and on again, and it seems to work.
Yes, for sure. That's been the mantra of the evening, I think.
Exactly
For
that.
definite. Yeah, no, it's good to be back though. Good to be in the swing of things. Not miss too much of the action as well. Another easy round here, I think, for Lancaster, as they're just up against a few upgraded pistols.
I mean, it's good to see the champions from last season continuing their winning ways. I mean, they're doing it in quite a fashion so far, being 5 rounds up already. But yeah, looking good. I mean, it's nice to see that the old guard are back as well, with the form of Matt, Enigma, Tobbs. But Big Iron, that's a new name to me.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, they might possibly. I can't remember off the top of my head the exact lineup that they had. In all honesty, but yeah, I don't recognise that name. So they may well have replaced him. But then, knowing the nature of some of these players, he may well just be taking the Michael somewhat.
Yeah,
Big
just
Iron
change
is
the name
is
a
a
little.
weapon skin as well, so that might have something to do with it. Either way, into round number 6 now. The bomb dropped very early on by Matt. He does get traded back, but as you can see, there are 2 more CTs that simply 2K and the rest of the squad have got to deal with here. Get this bomb back. Looking more and more difficult as they're gaining more ground. Misses a second shot as well. Oak going to tag him all the way down. Meanwhile, Tobbs over towards B, I think, picks up that kill on Neon Doodle. And this is just so well beautifully played by Lancaster here. 2 versus 4. Still got the bomb control. And pretty much have control of the entire map. They've just caged off the remaining Hertz SU players.
There's not much they can do. Big Iron's actually pushing up through the rest rooms right now. He's one player just ahead of him. Nothing happening, however, just yet. I think who is that man? Just playing it ever so slow. Picks up 1. That's Enigma, that will fall. Still has 3 players to kill. It's going to be a big ask as he finally manages to meet up with his teammate, using that utility to try and clear a path for him and his teammate to push on through.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a chance here if they can get this bomb down. But Tobbs, of course, is so hard to deal with, as we know if you watched in the last season. One of the better players on this side for sure. The bomb does go down, but Tobbs is always there. Gets himself a nice little 3k to win the round out in the end for his team. So, quick 6-0 on the board here for Lancaster, and they really are coming into this season all guns blazing.
I mean, Tobbs was one of those standout players for me last season. Him and that AWP were just incredible. So I'm really hoping to see a lot more from him going into this new season. And, I mean, look at him at the minute. There's 12 kills in already, and we're only into round number 7.
Indeed. He's just absolutely storming through at the moment, and I think that's one of the things that this team know they need to kind of rely on putting him in the backpack. Or rather, him putting them in the backpack, I suppose. Just letting him have free reign to do whatever he wants with that AWP. But it does come down to, though, you know, they have to keep that economy strong as a team so that he can continually pull out that AWP. Because his rifling, although not weak, is obviously not as devastating as the AWP in it all.
Well, rather slow passive play coming in so far. Don't want to do anything too risky. They do have all 5 AKs in their hands. Just slow, methodical pushes so far. Give a little look over towards the bomb carrier, however. Pushing their way up towards Monster. Again. No shots fired just yet.
There's a little bit of damage being done onto either side, and a couple of those players must have had a bit of a trade-off. A little bit interesting here. It seems like they're trying to fake out the A push. Tobbs finds the first kill onto Voxfly. The bomb, like you mentioned, is actually over towards Monster, probably trying to catch out these rotates and get the bomb down on B, but it looks like they're really not chomping on the side of Lancaster Bombers. They're still going to have to fight 3 players over here. Picked up 1 so far. The bomb being dropped there, Enigma and Big Iron just playing off each other so very well. And now Get Robin in a situation we've seen many a time. 3 men down, he's got 4 to find. The bomb, of course, dropped, and there's only 3 seconds left on the clock, so another round for Lancaster.
Does well to pick up Enigma and just stay alive. Keeps hold of the AK. At least that gives his team's economy a bit of a save, but not too much.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, looking at it, you know, Hertz have really got to either pull something out of the bag or kind of roll with it and just keep forcing up and keep trying to rush in and make something happen. Tobbs is just all over the place right now. He's absolutely unstoppable.
He does what he
The rest
wants.
of the team as well. Oh, for sure, for sure.
Well, let's have a little look as there's bomb going through Monster once again. Big Iron's there with the AK, managed to spray down 1, does get taken out in the end. Matt, however, is there in backup. 1 player has been severely tagged up, only on 5 HP, and that will be Voxfly. He will have to stand back just for a second, does get taken down in the end with the M4A1S. Another shot coming in, Oak takes down the second player, 1 remains, and Oak again gets the headshot onto Robin, and just like that, the entirety of Hertz fall to pieces, and Lancaster now 8-0 up.
Yeah, I mean, they're able to get the kind of opening picks on the side of Hertz, maybe the first 1 or 2 kills, but at least on the B-bomb side, but they'd already lost a couple of players really early on in the round just from a bit of CT aggression. So unfortunately, just not able to recover from that in the end, as it goes the way of Lancaster. Just a little bit stronger with the team cohesion here. Hobbs spots out the top of the head and is able to get away pretty much unpunished. Neon Doodle has picked up Enigma over towards Sewers. 4 versus 4 all evened up, but still, if you take a look on that right-hand side, you can see the utility for the T side is really lacking at this point.
Oh, they've got nothing there. They're really going to have to try and make an outstanding play to get anywhere to either bomb site, really, especially with Tops holding guard really quite well at Lower Park. I'm not spotting anything, but if you do look at that mini-map, you can see that they are looking to make a rotation through, but nothing happening just yet. A few pre-shots coming out, a bit of warning fire, making sure that they stay at bay. Who's that? Oak has snuck right out behind Noodle, takes down 1, he gets the spray down onto the second. Lovely shots from him, now backing away, has caused enough of a distraction, and Tobbs has sniped down Voxfly once again. And oh dearie me, it's Robin left alone in a 1 versus 4 all over again.
It seems that the CT side just able to pick up frags too easily. You know, Tobbs has got 2 in this round, hasn't taken a single point of damage. Oak exactly the same as well. So it's a little bit too easy for them to just kind of sweep in, pick up a kill or 2 and back off relatively unpunished. Which I think is ultimately why Hertz are losing these rounds, right? Because you just can't allow the CT side to do that, or either side. You just can't allow Lancaster to do that in general. Just go completely unpunished for their aggression. You know, it's a little bit difficult to make a comeback when the situation is like that. Paul's coming in here. I would imagine for Hertz possibly a technical. It looks like there's only 4 players on. That was a bit weird with the flyover. It looked like there was only 4. Maybe there was 4 on the left-hand side, and 1 hidden off to the right. But yeah, I mean. Yeah, okay, so there are all 5 there, that's fair enough. But it's just a bit, just kind of the Lancaster show at the moment. I just think they're able to pull off this aggression, and Tobbs especially with the AWP. He's died once, which is just a crime. Like, they're not ready for him, or they're not in position to trade him if he picks up a player on that Hertz SU side.
I mean, he is something else. I mean, look at Oak as well. He's got 12 kills, 1 assist, 0 deaths. I mean,
That's true.
Enigma's the only one, who's died 5 times, but he's been in those sort of positions where he's like trying to entry frag, and it's not worked out particularly well for him in the long run. But these things happen. At least if you look on the other side of things, the Hearts aren't having too well of a game themselves. You've got Voxfly, who's having a bit of a nightmare, if I'm honest. 0-9, but I mean, you are playing the big dogs of last season, the champions after all, and when you're coming up against a team as well-rounded as this, these things will happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a bit confusing because I think the seeding is never really this split, so it would seem anyway. Generally the split comes a bit closer, so the teams generally should have a bit more of an even go at things, if that makes sense. They should be a little bit more evenly matched than this. I suppose Overpass is a bit more of a CT sided map in history, but still not this much. I mean, recently it has become a little bit more T-sided with teams like SK, Astralis, are the pro teams that you could probably take after in that case. But we'll see. I mean, it just kind of depends. Maybe here Hertz are just not as ready for Overpass as they think. It might not be a complete split and just raw skill. Oh my goodness. Gets himself third as well. That's just not the dream. He's got the 4K here, looking for the ace. It's definitely doable, and Big Iron with that second AWP has just proven why this team is absolutely steamrolling right now. Tobbs is the AWPer, but all of a sudden Big Iron just pulls it out, misses barely any shots, and gets himself an ace.
That shouldn't happen. Not in any way should that happen. That is filth from Big Iron. Absolutely love to see them plays, but if you're a Hearts fan, you hate to see it. But we go into round 11 now. Big Iron looking to replicate the same sort of play, not connecting this time round. As you can tell, as the Hearts players are having to back away quite drastically this time round. They've opted for a change of plan and looking to stay around the park just now, with Bomb hanging back a little.
Yeah, the buy not too strong on that T side. Got themselves a Galil in the hands of Robin. There is the AWP on Simply 2K, but I think here they need to find these initial frags because they don't have the utility to pull off an execute of any kind. And when it comes down to the retake, the weaponry and utility of that CT side is definitely superior. Slide does open up into bathroom, and that means Tobbs is going to have to back off as well before he gets himself rushed down. So a good opening so far. A little bit slow and methodical from the T side rather than the rush in with 30 seconds left as we've seen previously, which never really works out for them.
Well, Tobbs is very much aware that they're looking to push around towards this A-bomb site now. He would have to call this one out towards his teammates. But if you have a little look, Enigma's actually really quite high up into sewers. I think he's still waiting for the sounds to give away the opposition. He's not going to hear anything just yet, but it does look as if the Hearts team are pushing up quite heavily now onto this bomb site. Oh no! Tobbs managing to tag up one, not gets the kill in the end. Big Iron though managed to pick up one, and Neon Noodle takes down Enigma. Big Iron though again is connecting with just every single shot currently, and that will fall to pieces once again for Hearts. I mean, Big Iron, wow! He might just rival Tobbs with the skill with an AWP.
I mean, possibly. There's an argument to be made. His positioning was quite good as well, in that case. But I think what we're seeing here, especially, you mentioned the rotates were a little bit slower or not quite as reactive, I suppose. There was action over towards A, but as a team, they've been playing together for a while. They've done very successfully as a team. So I think they have that trust in each other. That one of them can individually pull the round or at least get 2 or 3 kills so that the retake is a little bit easier. But I think as we can see here from this buy and from the economy of that T side, they've kind of lost faith slightly. They've got a few players fully eco in, such as Simply 2K, but then you've got Neon Doodle fully bought up with an AK. But it's really just not working out either way. I think at this point it's definitely the Lancaster show, looking to make 12-0, possibly 13-0 scoreline, and then backs against the wall for Hearts for sure for pretty much the rest of the game.
I mean, at this rate, I'm going to be impressed if they manage to win a round, and I think if they do win a round, it may just be the pistol round later on, because the way that Lancaster are currently playing is incredible. It really helps when you've got players like Big Iron, Oak, and Tobbs in such incredible form. They really are on top of their game. Hearts, at this minute in time, though, are a little bit lackluster and really need to show something just to get something going.
Yeah, just looking a little bit lost on this map, I think, at the moment. Not necessarily a question of lack of skill or just losing out the gunfights. It just seems that Lancaster playing off each other a little bit better. Those rotates come in much more naturally than I would imagine it would for Hearts. And I mean, they have a really good idea of how to play so many different spots and what kind of rounds to go aggressive in and whatnot. Because you have to, bear in mind, CS just doesn't come down to just shooting people. There's obviously a lot more to it than that, such as, the economy control and grenade control. Something like this, Tobbs, right? He comes here, peeks over that smoke, and we've seen him get just easy kills, right? That is just because he's out positioning the enemy. It's not too fancy. It's just the fact that he's able to make those kills as easy as possible. Stuff like that, where he keeps repeaking, is definitely where the skill comes into things. Oak as well on the edge of the smoke. Just get taken down by Bad Freak.
Oh!
Tobbs, however, always there at that close angle. Gets himself a second for the round. Brings it into a 4 versus 2. Now Neon Doodle and Simply 2K just really trying to recover whatever they can for the rest of this round. Bomb still over towards T-spawn. The utility extremely lacking after that smoke, especially for this T side. It's really not looking too good going into the latter stages of the first half.
Well, Simply 2K just peeking his way out. Not going to spot anything just yet. The smoke will clear very soon, so he needs to be aware. Because Tobbs is still hanging around, playing it slow. Oh, who's this? It's Enigma. That's really unfortunate because Neon Noodle was just looking at the right time. Managed to take down him. Tobbs, though, cheeky little spot through that little tiny gap. Managed to take down the AWP. Now it's just left down to Neon Noodle. 1 versus 3. Stranger things have happened. However, he's going to poke the same corner that his teammate did, and Tobbs will punish him.
Yeah, the 4K from Tobbs there in that round. Just conventional kills, hitting his shots. Gonna, I think, really affect them in a difficult way when things like that happen. On that hurt side, there's just something that's not really there at this point, if that makes sense.
No, that makes complete sense. I don't know what it is, though, because obviously we can't hear the communication, so we don't know if it's that. Looking at it, though, the way that they've rotated slowly around, and their positioning is absolutely not there. I mean, getting caught out time after time from plays like that, I mean, that really shouldn't be happening, but it is.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, though, I think they've just kind of lost faith in what they're doing, and especially that kind of nail in the coffin there. Tobbs just getting the shot through smoke, trading kills back and forth, but again, they're all just kind of on top of each other on this CT side. They're not going to lose too many players without returning the damage. Tobbs missing the shot as he's got to reposition. He's just kind of playing for time at the moment, though, I think. For the rotates, there's actually 2 kills going the way of Hearts here, so it's just Oak in a 1 versus 3. He does have a kit in hand. He's got plenty of time, but they seem to be slightly aware of where he's coming from at this point. So he's got 3 players to deal with, and Neon Doodle just going to peek out, pick that one up quite easily. So finally, Hearts get themselves a round on the board, 13-1. Better late than never, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, this could be the start of a comeback. Who knows? It could be the craziest comeback you'll ever see in your history. So, hold on to your hats. It could happen. I mean, I'm not holding my breath here. I really don't think it's going to, but I'd love it if
Have
it
to
did.
build up the storyline for sure.
Of course you do.
You know, yeah. I mean, there's a chance they could at least get this round, which wouldn't do too badly for them going into the second half. But I think it pretty much goes without saying they'll need to win the pistol, and they'll need to pretty much win every subsequent round thereafter because they don't have much room for error. 3 versus 2 here. The bomb is dropped, and we've got Big Iron to get past with this AWP as well. He finds Robin throwing down that smoke. Oak, I believe on the flank now, has found one. So suddenly we're into a 2 versus 1 situation in favour of the CT side. Simply 2K though has pushed up slightly aggressively. Maybe they're not quite ready for this. I think Big Iron's got his CZ out, so he's possibly prepared for it. This kill needed to happen, but unfortunately it goes the way of Lancaster. It's going to be a 14-1 scoreline to start us off in the first game of the NUEL. Unfortunately, I think we were hoping for something slightly more enthralling, slightly closer.
It may just be that this is Lancaster's map and not Hearts. Like, let's face it, they could just not be very well practiced on this one. They could have a much better second or third map. Again, it's probably the first time that they've played in a little while now. So, you know, let's not take too much away from them. Yes, it's a bit of a trouncing right now, but let's not forget Lancaster won last season, and they did that actually quite comfortably in themselves. So, no, fair play. They've come out and they've given it a red hot go, but it's not working out for them. I mean, this pistol round's working much better for them, however.
Yeah, almost going the way of Hearts there pretty quickly, but a couple of kills traded back. Now just left on Big Iron. Unfortunately, can't deal with that flank bomb. Not gone down, so that'll be the round, of course, going the way of the CT side. So this is it, maybe, Chris. This is maybe the incredible comeback that we're all waiting for.
Maybe? Nah, this is the incredible comeback. I'm telling you now, this is happening.
I mean, those scorelines, though, you know, 22-5, what is that, like 20-4? Just absolutely incredible numbers to be putting up in one half, especially when it was such a one-sided affair as well. Just great stuff from Lancaster. But I mean, maybe they can, you know, save themselves a little bit of dignity for their university on the Heart side, and at least get to double digits, I suppose. Not really sure what Boxfly was doing there, just sort of staring at the wall. Gets taken down by Big Iron, and now the A-bomb site pretty much open here. Simply 2K caught on short with his pants down, and now the bomb's going to get planted 5 versus 3. There is a kit in the hands of Neon Doodle, but other than that, not too much to write home about. The weaponry of the T-side, I think they're just saving here, looking at the body language and the reaction of this one. Just kind of taking the L, possibly for this round, possibly for the game, in all honesty.
I mean, I would say it would be like small L's and big W's, but at this rate, it's going to be a small L and then followed by a big L, because it's going to be 15-2. That's going to give the round to Lancaster. They're going to have a lot more to play with, so they may just very well work out in their favour. Fair play to Robin there, taking down one player in the map, but he does have Tobbs right behind him. Thankfully, time was on his side there, but I mean, it's a tough one. They have to go all out, and they cannot afford any mishaps now.
Yeah, they can't drop around at all, right? Obviously. So it's a pretty difficult ask for any team of any caliber to win 13 rounds in a row, right? Because you just can't make any mistakes at all. And unless you're playing against people who have never played before and don't understand how to exploit small mistakes, simple mistakes, then you're probably going to end up losing one round at some point in the next 13. So yeah, really difficult ask here for Hearts, but they still maybe have a chance, like I say, to recover a bit of dignity, have a few nice rounds and win some back. Up against 4 AKs and a FAMAS. Limited utility for the T side, I suppose. It works a little bit more in the favour of the CT side, but then the weaponry is of course much more superior, especially with those AKs and the one-tap potential. The A hit coming in now. Matt picks up Robin, and it's left in 4 versus 4. Voxfly able to trade 2 back. It's not done too badly for his team. Simply 2K trying to get a no-scope or something with the scout there pushing through that smoke. The 3 versus 2 as the bomb goes down. 2 MP9s on the CT side. Not looking too hot. Heads get found so very easily. Thought it was going to last a little bit longer than that, but yeah. That'll be our first game then, going over to Lancaster quite easily, in all honesty. 16-2 there. So that's going to be it for the first game. Very quick it was indeed. I think we might have to wait a little while before we can get into our second game, as everyone sort of got to, finish and make sure that we can actually have 2 opponents that play against each other. So either way, a little bit of a slow start for one team, but a very quick start for the other. It has been pretty good. What are your takes on that one, Chris, after that?
Lancaster looking like champions already. I mean, in all honesty, it's one thing to win, but when it comes down to winning like that in your opening night, that is special, right there. Tobbs, again, one to really watch out for. He is just sensational. Anytime I watch him play, I think, right, I got to start playing Counter-Strike more. I want to be like Tobbs. He really is fantastic.
Yeah, definitely one of the stronger players, and now Big Iron as well coming alive. I wouldn't be surprised. I think if I remember correctly in my head, it was Experillis, I think, is a name that wasn't there. So it might possibly be him. But either way, as a team, they work so well together. Definitely some players to watch there. And to keep your eye on if you're going to be watching every week, as we would hope. But anyway, that's going to be it from us for a little while. We'll be throwing to a bit of a break, some music and whatnot, while we just get sorted and find ourselves a second game to go and cover. So thank you very much for joining us, and we won't be too much longer. See you in a little bit.
close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and
All right, hello everybody, and welcome back. We should very quickly be getting into our next game, hopefully. We did have all 10 players in, I think, and then one of them seems to have dropped out, which is obviously a little bit of an issue. Can't have the game without all 10 players in, but I suppose it'll give myself and Chris to have a bit of a chat about the previous game, see what we've got in store for this one as well. So York, I do believe, are Ridmush, and Warwick, obviously,
You know
are the
what?
Warwick anchors on the other side there.
Hold up, let me just get my post-it notes so I can post over that. So I'm gonna call them by that.
Oh,
There's no doubt that I'm literally gonna end up saying that instead of York. So
yes, that's true, actually.
I'm literally gonna post a note over that. Oh no, I've just dropped everything. To make sure that I don't call them that.
Oh god, right. Well, not quite sure. It really confused me as well. I'm gonna have to like not look at that because it in my mind is like mid rush, right?
Yeah.
But oh god,
That's
and
how
it's
I read
also
it.
there 3 times. I just can't deal with that. But yeah, so I think we're just changing map over. Not quite sure. This might have something to do with the player dropping out here. In this case, so I think because it was originally on Overpass. Obviously, we've been sat in the server for a little while. It was originally on Overpass, but no one was in, and then they swapped it to Cache. Then players started to join, so I assumed it was Cache, right? Got all my Cache knowledge in my head ready, but then they've swapped back to Overpass. So I don't know at this point. It is the first week, so there's always going to be a few server issues for sure. I know we've had a little bit of issue on our side, but I
Don't know
think
what you're
everything
talking about.
is all good. I think everything's all good.
We've had
Yeah,
no
did,
issues.
did someone take a little while to connect on the first map? I don't remember.
No, not at all. I had it all under control.
Yeah, for sure.
Just like my post-it note skills right now.
Yeah, for sure.
It's next
It's just
level.
it's just I think the case being, there are what, like 90 CS teams, I think, for the spring championship.
I don't know if it was 90. I think it was around 70 in the end.
Right, okay, fair enough. But either way, there's still a hell of a lot of them, right? So
Oh yeah.
there's a lot of servers that need to be maintained, and we've got like 4 or 5 admins, bless their cotton socks, trying to deal with everything and all the issues that arise and whatnot.
You're the real MVPs.
So for sure. I'm sure they'll be around in Twitch chat as well for a helping hand to viewers and whatnot. But yeah, hopefully should be starting pretty quickly here. I mean, it's just a bit easier to be a bit more communicative, I think, with you guys if there are a few issues. And of course, our job being the casters, we've got to provide the entertainment and whatnot. Now, after swapping servers, so I need to sort all the X-ray and camera control commands and stuff from Perky. So there's always that. Perky, of course, our observer. So big shout out to him for being here and helping us out with this one. Takes a little bit of the pressure off of myself from observing and whatnot. And the auto director is notoriously terrible for just staying on dead bodies or randomly swapping to third person for no reason. So it's good to have a human on the other end to make sure that kind of thing doesn't happen.
I'm having a nightmare with my post-it notes.
Honestly, man,
Like,
they're only post-it notes. It's not.
I know they just don't stick to my screen.
Okay. Are you trying to like replace where it says Ridmush?
Yes, I'm completely
York.
trying to cover it up. And I've written York over them so that I say York instead of Ridmush 3 times.
Yeah.
Because if I say Ridmush 3 times, I feel like it's like calling upon Beetlejuice. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, maybe it could be some kind of curse chant. Something, the Bye Bye Man. That was a film, right?
I'll take your word for that.
I think so. I think it's terrible. I hope none of the directors are watching, but I heard it wasn't very good.
On the off chance that
Yeah.
they're watching the NUEL this evening.
Yeah, they're fans of Counter-Strike.
I mean, who's not?
Well, yeah, that's true, to be fair. Breaking our own records at the major always feels good. To be fair, for concurrent viewers on a single channel, just putting that one out there.
It was
Those of you that don't know.
outrageous. But then again, I'm pretty sure that a certain someone who claims to be the face of Twitch beat that the other day.
I don't know, man. I don't think so. It was like 1 million viewers for the E-League Twitch channel over that. So, but then to be fair, Doc gets like what, 40 million, you know. So yeah, maybe. Shouldn't be waiting too much longer though. Looking at this, we've got 9 out of the 10 players. Not really sure what's going on with that at this point. If it lasts any longer, you know, so that it becomes a bit more of a time-related issue. I'll try and get in contact with one of the admins, find out what's going on. But you know, it could be a whole myriad of issues with CS. Unfortunately, you know, the Steam log on, he could not have an update or whatever. So this is Warwick versus York. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I like having the freedom to pick what names they want, because there's some very, very witty ones. Like, so I go to the University of Leicester, and our Overwatch team is called I Thought This Was CS, and our CS team is called I Thought This Was Overwatch. Little things like that, that, you know, if you have a very poor sense of humor, maybe you'll find funny. But for most of us, it's not brilliant. Unfortunately, but yeah, I mean, it's just when you name yourself, it's completely different from Witty's not spelt with a H. Sorry, I know that person. He's trying to
Oh dear.
he's trying to oust me.
Oh dear. He's had a bit of a nightmare. However, if you want to see my post-it note skills, I posted them on Twitter. It looks good, except the one that says York has fallen off. Oh no.
That's quite a good plug, honestly. You know, get a bit of a meme running, and then get everyone to follow you on Twitter to see the aftermath. I
have no idea what you're talking about, but if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's...
Oh god. This is interesting. I'm not sure what's going on here. Whether the game's, because the warm-up's finished, so they're going to play. Okay. So as they start another warm-up, the final player comes in. So we should hopefully. It should hopefully not take too long. Oh god, the chat right now.
You know, I'm staying away from the chat because I know a lot of this is going to be directed towards me, and a lot of it is going to be hate. So I'm gonna stay over this side, away from that.
Yeah, I think that's probably for the best, isn't it? I'm going to like get rid of my other screen so it doesn't distract me, because I think we're getting into the knife round here. So don't want to get, you know, confused or caught off guard by a certain someone. But yeah, so to decide for the sides, obviously that's kind of the way that the knife works for some of the newer players. Generally considered a little bit archaic in a sense at the moment, because especially because a lot of tournaments, you know, you play best of threes and things. I think that's the way that it goes later on in NUEL. Obviously it's the very first week, so they're pretty much just seeding matches at the moment. But yeah, it's kind of, now the system is you ban a map, and then the enemy gets to pick what side they start on once you've picked your map, that kind of thing. So, you know, say it was York picking Overpass, and then Warwick would say, right, we want the CT side then. And that kind of thing. But a good old knife is a pretty fun way to start things off.
I didn't see any
York
fun
winning that
knives in
one
there
out.
though. They all got standard knives.
I think I saw someone with a karambit.
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah, which is quite a nice knife, to be honest. I'm not really like an avid collector of skins. There you go. There's a butterfly knife.
Oh yeah,
In
there
the hands
is.
of Jeg.
Hello.
Spent a fair amount of money on that, probably.
Or got lucky in a crate like I did once.
That's true. So did I, to be fair. There are many tales of getting lucky in the crates, but they're not always lucky. Do consider that. If you are young and foolish, don't go spending all your money. But anyway, enough about that. More into the actual Counter-Strike that we're all here for. Pretty conventional buy from either side. Bit of utility in the hands of Jeg, kit in the hands of BCG on that CT side. Fresh going to get taken down by Tasty. The CZ here from I, really not doing too much. He's eventually pick up a kill with it. Goes down pretty much immediately though, so now it's just on BCG on this B-bomb site. Rotates have come in. Not quite sure. Rascalart seems to be by himself. Finds the head of Donny though with a nice little flick, and these last two players are quite tagged up, so there's definitely a chance to take this one. The Goosh coming in onto Synonym for Tree, and he's now left on 2 HP as his teammate goes down. Still a doable 1 versus 2 here, but I mean, if the T-side peak together... Oh, that is a clean little headshot through the fence, though. For the wide peak, unfortunately, Josh takes down Synonym for a Tree, so a very close pistol to start us off here. Will be Warwick taking it in the end, but I mean, York possibly a little bit heartbroken after losing that one, but it does bode well going into this one.
Yeah, it's a nice start for them. Just playing it slow. Obviously getting the first pick, which was vital for them to push that bomb site, but it's still very early doors. Things can change very quickly when it comes to CS. So, let's see how this one pans out. Looking like they want to mix things up this time in Warwick. Pushing over towards Park. A little look, and it's Donny pushed right the way up onto Fountain. Causing a bit of noise right now, maybe trying to pull out some players. Oh, it's going to be Synonym for Tree. Who's
got the CZ at the close range.
It could
Definitely
work
a
out
chance to find some heads. Yeah, possibly, but unfortunately, just gets taken down by the run and gun Mac 10 as you would expect. I think even if he did pick up a kill there, the trade would have been almost instantaneous at that point. The scout, however, here over towards the APC is definitely an issue. A couple of kills go in the way of the CT side. Josh left on 6 HP as well. Definitely makes this a doable 3 versus 2, but they've got to act quickly, I think. Josh getting taken down there as the bomb goes down. 2 versus 2 situation. Fresh hit. Oh, the double take. He does tag up Jeg, but now it's left all on I. Get everything done. No kit in hand. See if he can make it.
Oh, it's does spot 1. Doesn't really get any damage. Goes for the fake defuse, but the opposition are very much aware of this. Will take the round. 2 wins on the bounce for Warwick. Good start from them. Solid showing.
Yeah, they get the second conversion round. Maybe not as clean as they would like, right? You kind of have to keep your economy rolling, keep as many people alive as you possibly can. But it's a little bit more forgiving on the T side, a little bit cheaper. You know, you don't have to buy up a kit. Your Molotovs are $200 cheaper. Your AK is $400 cheaper. So it's a little bit more forgiving to lose a few players, play a little bit more wild on these anti-force buy rounds. And this one, I think, I would probably bet my left leg on it. Should be a pretty easy take for the T side. They're up against 5 USPs, no armor at all. They've got the Mac 10s as well, really going to work well against that. Josh is just cleaning up the money right now. Himself a 2k, $600 per kill as well on the SMGs. So he's really going to be happy with that one. And now just high with a deagle and not able to get anything done. So that is a little bit more of a cleaner round from Warwick in the end.
Nice sweep for them. Not dropping a single player. Now looking to buy up that utility to help them push their way through onto these bomb sites much cleaner. Hoping to do very much the same again, and York got a little buy themselves. I just over towards the park, nothing spotted just yet. A few pre-shots going down. I believe that's going to be from BCG, hoping to connect outside Monster, but a passive play coming in from Warwick. They don't want to give too much away just yet. And oh dear, Donny's been taken down. Lovely little shot from Rasklat using the environment to his advantage.
Yeah, the boost spot there. Does lose his teammate Fresh, who I think was the booster. But Overpass is obviously infamous for that one if you've been following Counter-Strike for a while. The old triple boost that you could see over the top of the map, that was certainly an issue. Since being patched, but I mean, you know, there is still a lot of boost spots that can be used to your advantage, but a little bit more easily punishable than that one. So 4 versus 4 going into the final 50 seconds or thereabouts of the round. In terms of utility, you definitely give it to Warwick in this case, but they do seem to be a bit more on the back foot, a little bit more nervous moving into things. Slightly more confidence from the CT side. BCG gets tagged up a little bit by Josh, but does get away ultimately with his life. Looks like it's going to be more of an A hit from the T side at the moment. The smoke's raining down, hopefully trying to get that bomb in the default spot. Play the post plants as effectively as they possibly can. Jeg leading the way here. It's I, though, from Optimus, picking himself 2 kills. Mason will trade him back, but the damage is certainly being done. Only 15 seconds left on the clock. That was a fight that needed to be won. 2 versus 2 now as the bomb is going to go down towards Optimus. BCG, if he picks up this kill, could have denied the bomb plant there. Doesn't actually get it, but Rasclat is on the flank to make sure that they can very quickly get that defused. So York will get the first gun round on the board and get themselves, you know, into the game here. 3-1 in favour of Warwick still, but the money will definitely be in favour of York going into the next round.
No, absolutely. It was just the timing from BCG as well. If he stepped out when he did, he'd have been caught with that Molotov. But as he stepped out, bomb went down, and it just made easy pickings of the side of Warwick. Now, York with the first round on the board. The utility looking quite stacked now, hoping to use some of that to full effect. But if you look on the side of Warwick, though, they are very much stacked themselves. Mason here looking to use the AWP as they push their way up towards the playground. Shots being fired immediately. 2 players go down from York. 1 for Warwick. That will be Josh, who does get traded out after taking out one of the opposition players. However, Tasty down in connector is immediately destroyed from I. Tree takes down Jeg, and it's down to Mason with the AWP in hand, being chased down by Tree and will fall. Good stuff from York, much better from them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the recovery there as well. After losing those initial, I think it was just the 1 player over towards short, but they were rushed down for sure and could easily have been caught off guard. But they're able to recover the round quite easily, just making sure that the aggression is not unanswered for, and it's more coordinated aggression. Maybe a little bit of a juxtaposition from what we saw in the previous game, where the aggression just seemed to be solo. They're working together as a team here. The absolute mowdown coming in, though. The Molotov and nade combo there, I think, just absolutely destroyed Warwick as they tried a bit of an eco rush onto B. Doesn't really work out in the end. There's Rasclat and I believe BCG picking up most of those kills there. So evening up the scoreline now going into round number 7. Quite an important round here. I mean, York have got a chance to take the lead here. Maybe even by a couple rounds if they're, you know, solidify their economy, destroy the economy of Warwick. Warwick, on the other hand, definitely put a stop to this string of rounds that York have got since winning that first rifle round.
There's a significant amount of damage done to Jeg up in playground then. Lovely sniper shot coming in from I. Rasclat picking up the first blood of round number 7. However, shots being fired down towards playground, but nothing connecting just yet. Rasclat and Fresh combining to take out Josh, but it's not looking good now for the side of Warwick, as it is all falling apart for them. Great defensive stance so far from the side of York. Let's see how they're going to retaliate from this one, being 2 players down.
Yeah, the boost really working out yet again. A little bit surprising they're not quite ready for that. A good safe way to at least make sure that can't do any damage is get yourself in connector early on, clear that out, get control of that as the T side, and then fling the door open, possibly with a grenade. And sometimes you see AWPers, in fact, but you know, just have someone pre-aim the angle and be ready for it. Even if you don't pick up the kill, I think you're going to scare the CTs off, but if you give them the room to do what they want, then they will definitely pick up that kill and almost, especially with the damage being done onto Jeg so early on as well, pretty much just solidify the round there. Sitting in for a treat, peeking off of hearing that flashbang sound cue, picks himself 2 kills up, in fact, and now it's all on Tasty. In a 1 versus 5, only just able to get 1 kill. A little bit of a mess there. He had an opportunity at 2, but York now really getting their foot in the door and giving Warwick a good run for their money. It seems that once they've got, you know, guns in their hands and got the full buy, they just maybe a little bit of a league above Warwick here. You know, yes, it's a 4-3 scoreline, but that comes off of Warwick winning the pistol, which in a sense comes with those 2 guaranteed rounds afterwards, right?
Well, you would have thought so anyway. I've seen many a time where it just goes the other way. You win a pistol, but then you can't really do anything with it. It's all about how the opposition can react, and you get into those sorts of positions where they can punish those little mistakes that we talked about in the last series. And right now, York are doing just that. They are punishing Warwick for just peeking those slightly too far and then shutting them down. I mean, they're doing that again right now on this defensive hole right now. They know that the rotation is coming in, and it is really quite slow. And then they're picking up the kills. I takes down Tasty. Mason, though, with a lovely 1 kill onto, I believe that was BCG, before I trades him out. And again, the shots are flying in. It's York in full control right now.
Yeah, still a couple kills going the way of Warwick, so nothing to be sniffed at. Making sure to keep the pressure on that CT economy. Make sure that they have to keep buying up. I think if you look, though, at this point, it doesn't matter all that much. But it just kind of depends. If Warwick, you know, take a gun round here, they take another one, then they definitely have a chance to pull the lead back in their favour. Just because of those 1 or 2 little kills, because those 2 players have to keep buying up, right? So it's all about the little things in CS, honestly. You know, the economy is such a huge part of the game. In terms of utility and in terms of crushing out your opponent, if that makes sense, so that they are forced onto those rounds where they don't have a chance. You know, they just have a few pistols and whatnot. And it should, if everything goes conventionally, it should be an easy round to Warwick. All, you know, hypothetical at this point. Because, of course, it seems York are the ones with this game firmly by the tail.
Well, again, it's a slow push coming in from Warwick. They used up a little bit of utility, but not gained much ground. I like this positioning from Mason, though. He's watching the flank. He's going to spot 2 players ahead of him. Unfortunately, he cannot connect. Rasclot picks up 1. Sending him for a tree, picks up the 2nd. Shots are being fired down again through the woodwork, but nothing is connecting just yet. Donny watching the flank through connector, waiting to see if there's any York players pushing their way down. He can hear the footsteps above him, so he's very much aware of that. But Josh pushed up onto construction, straight into the L. He has 3 players around him. He has a lot of work to do here. Maybe too much. He's not going to come out of this with his life.
Yeah, maybe pick up 1, possibly 2 kills. But I mean, if you just sort of watch the mini-map in these rounds, 2 players lost on that T side. And they all suddenly are split across the map and kind of playing the solo game almost. Fresh pushed up here. Doesn't actually need to employ himself, as I's actually going to find the kill. And Donny just jumping through the smoke like a madman there, gets taken out as well. But yeah, it's just a case of, you know, maybe as a spectator, take one of these rounds and just watch the minimap. When York get the man advantage, the way that they do it is by playing off of each other, right? Rasclar in that round again used the boost, completely unpunished for doing so. Hit a lot of damage onto, I believe, Tasty through the wall, and then moved to a second spot that you can wallbang to pick up the kill, right? So he is playing the positional game so well. But then Warwick from there aren't able to work together to pick up any kills. So even if someone does get a solo kill, they're not there as a team, so that player probably just immediately gets traded, and that kill that they got previously is completely worthless.
Absolutely, and right now, this is such a lovely spot from BCG. He managed to take down the first before being traded out by Jeg, but it was, again, such great awareness, and the communication coming from York has been perfect so far. Unfortunately for Synonym, he does get taken down before they end up to trade out Jeg, 3 versus 3, but it is, again, they started off aggressive, but Warwick have since died down since the first kill outside restrooms. They need to, come up with a plan here, and I think the B bomb site's going to be the more favourable for them. Obviously, they don't know this. With Josh causing a bit of ruckus over here towards the connector side of things, but there is a player on the opposite side of the wall, and that's Fresh, just biding his time. Lovely slow play from him, picks out the head of him without missing a bullet. Good stuff. Now that's a 3 versus 2.
Just being a little bit more predictable than they would like here. I ready for that one, able to move into his second position as well, and now it's Donny in a 1 versus 3. They know exactly where he is, and Rasclot will strike there. But again, it's just a case of, they pick up those first 2 initial kills, do lose 2 players for it, but it's still a 3-on-3, works out in their favor. Now they either have to make the decision there, we're going to commit to A and rush straight in, or they have to slow things down and all move towards B, right? If they pick up that kill on short, again, even if they trade 1 for 1, they have control of the B bomb site. They at least get the bomb down. They get themselves into some decent post-plant positions, but they just seem split, right? Josh going off by himself when it's as close as it is, the scoreline now close as it is, and this is just easy pickings here for BCG. No idea as well where he's playing from in that carnage. And just picks up a 3k synonym for a tree with the 2. So again, winning these conversion rounds quite easily, get themselves up to 8 on the scoreboard. But it just seems what we've seen tonight from the 2 teams that are really dominating in their respective games is that they're a lot more coordinated as a team and work a lot more effectively with their strong numbers. The strength in numbers kind of thing, the buddy system. Whereas the teams that are losing just seem to be trying to make solo plays and hope for the best. Hope that they pick up, 3 sick headshots, which is really just not a reliable way to play the game.
Yeah, it's more based on the hero plays, is what I like to call them. The ones you put down to your YouTube clips. But yeah, I mean, York are playing it so very well with the way they're able to just bounce off of each other. So if one falls, they're able to just take the trade, nice and simple. And I mean, I think that kill just then was the one time I have seen one single player from York on his own. He does get taken down within connector from, I think that was Donny. But regardless, 3 players alive for the side of York, 4 for Warwick, so they have the numbers advantage. But do they have the time? They've got 45 seconds to do something with this. The bomb has been moved slowly but surely round the back of Park and up towards Long now. He has Molly in hand. Tasty looking to just clear off a bit of space. Who is this on the site itself? It's Fresh and BCG. BCG gets a few shots himself. Falls to Donny though for Fresh with the wallbang. Lovely shots from him. 2 versus 4, and bomb is going down. Oh dear, it's left to BCG to do this all on his own.
1 versus 4. He does have a kit in hand though, so if he's able to pick up these kills, he'll definitely get the defuse off, but can't even find the first one. So Warwick will eventually put an end to the 8-round win streak. I was pretty sure it was, just had to double check on the old scoreboard. But yeah, it's taken them a little while. And I suppose, as we said last game as well, better late than never. In this first half, they need, I think, to win another couple rounds here to have a good go of things on the CT side, and this round as well is very, very important because, of course, it's that reset threat for either side. I suppose York want to get that reset and get themselves up to double digits quite easily. Warwick, on the other hand, need it to keep their foot in the door, keep the pressure on in this first half.
So far, again, a very slow play from Warwick, waiting for any sign of life from the opposition. Mason's really put up quite high here, the open hand. Coming down through mid. He's going to see 2 players ahead of him though if he peeks around this corner. That will be I, and sending him for a tree. First shot's coming in, that will be I who punishes him for peeking it. And the bomb still securely in restrooms. He does have 2 teammates in support as well. We've got 1 down long. Look, that's Donny. Going to use this molly to try and clear off a bit of space for him to push his way through. He does take a few shots, gets taken out in the end from BCG. Lovely accurate shooting from him. So now the bomb's going to rotate. They're thinking, right, they're stacked up on A. Let's try our luck onto B side now. If you have a little look though, Josh, looking to push through Monster, gets caught unaware, and somehow Tasty's able to pick up 2 lovely shots coming in from him. Unfortunately for him, does get traded out from BCG once again, and it's a 2 versus 3. The numbers game has gone back in the favor of York, despite 2 of them pretty weak.
3 versus 2.
Oh,
Bomber's going
dear.
to go down on the edge of that smoke. BCG waiting to strike there. So it was looking good for Warwick going into the B bomb site there. Tasty getting a nice couple of opening kills, but unfortunately the rotates were quick enough and able to put a stop to any more shenanigans. And I think just again, you know, the boost spot from BCG being used, a slightly different one this time that they've not had to pull out before. Have that in their back pocket to just pick up essentially a free kill, because Warwick are just not prepared for it at all. And off of that, then able to take the round just because they have the man advantage and can afford to maybe play a little bit more aggressively on one or two of their players. And like I said, there was a fair amount of money stacked up, I think, for Warwick, what with the loss bonus and whatnot, and winning that round. But still, this buy here, not ideal. 2 AKs, a Galil, a couple of Deagles, and not very much utility between the 5 of them. You look on the opposite side, and of course, you know, there's an AWP, everybody's got kits, everybody's got head armor, and everybody's got as much utility as they would like on that CT side. And it's really going to make a difference on Overpass, honestly, just because of, you know, smoking off a lot of the choke points. The Molotovs as well often put a stop to this rush style that Warwick are just kind of falling back on, you know. They'll pick up that 1 kill, or even not pick up a kill, they'll just see someone and rush straight in, and a Molotov just does a load of damage and splits the team in half, and makes it a hell of a lot easier on York.
It's just very slow. Very slow from Warwick. I mean, Tasty's pushed up through bathrooms now. He's going to see 1 player ahead, make that 2. Does manage to pick up the first very narrowly, getting away with his life though. Doesn't check to see if there's a second, and does get traded out for sitting in for a tree. And now the push comes in. 19 seconds left on the clock. They need to make a move. Bomb is going down. There will be players all around. Mason just trying to do his absolute best. Not only able to take down 1, but takes a significant amount of damage before being taken out in the end from I. 10-4. Lovely stuff from York so far.
Yeah, doing really well. It seems they're just playing really well off of each other, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, there's always someone else there to make sure to get the trade, or to kind of bait out a little bit. You know, Sin Infantry did wait for a little bit. He waited for his moment to strike. Right, he heard the cock of the Molotov getting pulled back, and then he picked up that kill pretty much easily. Right, you don't want to risk going down as well. But like I said, there's always just someone else there. Fresh watching short there, as well as boosting up Ras Clark. Allows his team to get 2 kills, bring it back into a 4 versus 3. Ras Clark now making it very easily a 4 versus 2, and the utility of this T side is really going to make it difficult to get into the bomb site. They've also got Donny on the scout, which is definitely not the ideal close range weapon that he's probably going to be fancying at this point.
I mean, it's not one that I would go for, if I'm honest. If you're going for a B-bomb site push, then scout rifle, you're probably going to want to leave that one at home. But he is now left in a 1v4 and immediately shut down from Fresh as he tries to push towards Monster, and a solid first half from York. However, Warwick could be much better on the CT side than the T side. We will have to find out.
It's going to count on the pistol, though, isn't it, really, at this point? Get to that 11-7 scoreline, doesn't look as scary, and then win the first gun round, and you've definitely got a chance if you're Warwick at this point, but it really does come down to winning this pistol and then winning the conversion rounds as cleanly as possible. But I think we're about to see a very different T-side. Warwick looked very, very nervous on their T-side, quite apprehensive with a lot of the plays, which ended up, you know, costing them 1 or 2 players because not everyone's committed to the play. Whereas I think here the confidence on this York side is going to be through the roof at the moment. Pretty much a straight-up B-rush coming in. Josh finds the first kill onto BCG on the edge of that smoke, but will go down pretty much instantaneously. Mason from Boost picks himself up 1, brings it into a 4 versus 3. The bomb is yet to go down as well, so this has allowed the rotates to get coming in, get a bit more aggressive. Kills going back and forth. Ooh, Mason with a clean little flick there. He's also got a kit in hand, it has to be noted, as well as a smoke, but now in the 1 versus 3 for Ras Clark. Gonna have to find the heads here, finds the head of the first. Here's the defuse going on, but I think he's banking on the fact that it's not going to be a kit player. It is, and unfortunately, despite picking up both of those kills, just can't get there fast enough to deny the defuse inside that smoke. So it's going to be 11-5. And it'll be interesting to see what York are going to do here. They get that extra $800 for getting the bomb down. And I think we've seen slightly more recently, if you watch the major Cloud9, Tarek, being the in-game leader for that team, was a big fan of forcing after getting the bomb down on the T side, which is not normally the conventional play. It seems York are going to just go for the eco and pull the AKs out around early.
Well, I think they want to just see this one off as soon as possible, having been 7 rounds up going into this half. So, I mean, I admire the play. It's ballsy. I like it. But we'll see if it works out well for them. As it stands, they've got quite aggressive up through towards connector. Shots being fired, but nothing really happening as of yet. I mean, Synonym Infantry has taken quite a bit of significant damage. I takes even more from Tasty. And just shots. Pre-fire coming out. Oh, there we go. Mason is able to take down Synonym Infantry for the opening pick of the first round here. And oh, lovely shot from Iron as he destroys the head of Jeg before being traded out by Tasty.
4 versus 3, trying to rush onto this bomb site now, at least get the bomb down. Definitely got a chance to do so as Fresh has made it in. Johnny is trying his hardest to deny it, but it will eventually get planted. Rasklar as well picks up another kill for his team. So not too bad of a result there after that round, honestly. They get the bomb plant in the first round, get that extra $800, get the bomb plant in the second round, another extra $800 going into this gun round here. So they're going to have a lot more money than you would usually have in this kind of a situation after losing the pistol. Maybe even a chance to pull out an AWP if they fancy it. But at the very least, 5 AKs and full utility, which is what they're going to go for in the end here. And even a little bit of money spare on a couple of these players. So it does bode well going into the first gun round here.
Yeah, I think that's a wise choice, really, is to go for the 5 AKs and just build up that utility and really look to push their way forward much. Well, as it stands, it's not going to work out well for them as I is actually immediately taken down, trying to push his way up towards the fountain. Fresh trying to pre-fire through the smoke, not able to connect with anything just yet. He does have a teammate in support, but they have backed off. Warwick now holding strong, holding a lovely little line across the site, as you can see just there. Who's that actually down at sewers? That is down at BCG. It's pushed up quite high. Looking to get 1 kill. No! Josh punishes him for whiffing so many shots there. Fresh and Rasklar. Oh, Synonym for a tree actually just clinging to life very barely. Gonna be interesting. See how they do this. If I was Synonym for a tree, I'd be using that utility to help the other 2 push forward, because let's face it, with 1 HP, you're not doing anything here.
On that low HP as well, he essentially becomes like a utility item of himself. So I think playing with a teammate to just kind of bait himself out. If he gets a kill, bonus. But the idea is to just kind of trade. At least he does actually find Jeg there in the end. Now, 4 versus 3 situation. Tasty going to pick up Fresh, but immediately traded as well. Back into a 3-on-2 now. Synonym for a tree is still on 1 HP, so it's not ideal here. But it is planted for him, and he's kind of playing the head glitch angle, it would seem. In the end, it's definitely a chance that he could be the final player that needs to be found, needs to be picked up. Rasklar actually with a double spray down there, leaving Donny in the 1 versus 2 now, and Rasklar can finish him as well. Picks up a 4K for the round, doing great work for his team there in the end.
I mean, that should not happen. Absolutely should not happen. I mean, how in the world is Synonym for a tree stay alive to begin with? But then to push that bomb site so confidently, to get that down and then hold it. Fantastic. I mean, Rasklar, I mean, he is something else with his AK at hand. Really is quite damaging. So let's see how they're able to play off of this one. They push through quite aggressively into sewers. Trades coming in already. 2 players do full. Fresh is able to take out 2 of them. Let's see what the pre-fire coming through to the connector does. Again, Fresh takes down another player. That is going to open up the bomb site very easily. Jeg is left all alone. He only has his pistol at hand. Has created a little bit of noise there as he drops down, but he does pick up an AK. Trying to give himself a bit of an angle. Picks up Jeg. Backs away for his life. If I was him, yep, hold on to the AK and just stay alive.
Yeah, not too bad of a result in the end to keep hold of that AK, but I think at this point, you know, you really can't be losing rounds and losing that one gun round, especially in the clutch situation, which was kind of in their favour, right? Sending him for a tree on 1 HP is a crime that he manages to survive. There you go, the AK unfortunately is not going to be saved for Jeg. So, be 13-6 now in favour of York. And they are really looking good going into the latter stages of this game. The money on that CT side still not ideal, you know, still very weak. To be honest, you know, it's really not ideal. The FAMAS being pulled out, no kits, limited utility. It really isn't looking too hot up against the fully bought up T side here. Going into round number 20, a fast short hit as well. I think they were looking to make their way onto B, but the Molotov put a bit of a spanner in the works. I, though, finds Jeg in a slight off angle. Definitely should have been in his favour, but unfortunately missing his shots there. A lot of damage being done onto Josh as well. Fresh looking for the Kobe, but decides against it, it would seem.
Ooh.
Blinded up in the smoke. Sort of seems to have slowed down slightly now after getting that initial pick on this T side. They have slowed themselves, not to a halt as of yet, on the edge of that smoke. As it dissipates, Josh will get taken down. The B bomb site now pretty much open for the taking. I think the T's are quite aware of this, and Rasklar is just on fire at the moment, finding heads. Just get taken down by Mason. He was on pretty low HP there, but a 4 versus 2, he's definitely done his work, and I think, especially with Tasty going down, I think it was a call to save before that. It's actually I on the A-bomb site holding out on those rotates. Left on 1 HP himself, so some of these York players getting very lucky with their HP levels, to say the least.
Absolutely. I getting a bit too aggressive for my liking. Really didn't need to do that. Could have just kept some money for his squad. I mean, yes, they're going to take this round and go 2 rounds away from the win, but you never know. Never know what will happen.
Actually going to keep a hold of the AK, I suppose, which is always nice. Going into round number 21, but he's going to need some kind of a huge play here. I would imagine his team are going to force around this as well. Because they're going to try and play for the win, but it's going to take 10 straight rounds to do so. There may be a chance. Again, you know, we like to build up the storylines as we did on the previous map, but York, you know, much like Lancaster, just seem to be a very coordinated team at this point in time. Kind of not really being challenged in this game, because it is 14-6, but again, you have to consider 3 of those rounds come from the first T-side pistol. So the CT side of York was so dominant once they got rifles in their hands that Warwick have just not really been able to put a stop to it. They pick up a few odd kills with the pistols, just the one so far. Now it's just left on Mason and Donny in a 4 versus 2 situation. Mason as well getting tagged down to 34. He's such a key player at the moment. Whiffs the Molotov as well, so I is just easily able to walk straight up. Will eventually burn as it spreads though. I suppose there is that, but now Donny in a 1 versus 3 but with nothing but a scout. Will be something quite legendary if he pulls this one off.
Well, I do love a underdog story. Does hear the bomb being planted. Decides to shift up slowly, whiffs his shots, and Rasklar will punish him for that one. 15-6, York on the verge of victory in week number 1. Warwick, really, I mean, it's not looking good for them. You look at that buy. Yeah, I've seen better, but I've certainly seen worse. So, I mean, it's going to take something absolutely spectacular for them to come out on top of this one. Look at this, a mad rush down towards Munster and Sewers. Donny is there in preparation. Shots do come down. He does manage to take down one, sending him for a trio, taking down the second, and then getting an assist onto Mason for the second. Josh, Jeg, and Tasty left alive. Bomb has been planted. You just got to go all out now if I was them. I mean, they're looking to do so. Josh gets taken out by Fresh. Tasty is left with a deagle at hand. I'd love it if he just cleared out the map now. Just with the deagle.
I mean, it would be
Oh.
a pretty sound end. Unfortunately, it gets denied. Oh, you hate to see it. Oh, Jag, that is a painful, painful way to end that game, in all honesty. But yeah, 16-6 in the end there to York, or Mush Mush, something like that. Their weird convoluted name that they had going on in the
I'll
end.
take off my post-it notes.
Yes, of course. Yes, don't be needing them anymore. I would keep them around though, because I'm pretty sure, you know, in the next couple of weeks there's going to be some weird names coming out of the woodwork, to say the least.
Look, I'm a seasoned vet now. I carry post-it notes everywhere.
Fair enough. I think that's a good way to live life, you know. Always prepared in the back pocket. But yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, in terms of spectating, a little bit of an unfortunate start in the end, because it's not as, you know, close as we would like. But I think at this point, it is very much about spreading, you know, the wheat from the chaff, kind of thing. You know, because some of these teams seem like they could put up some good numbers, but there are just some teams at the moment in the NUEL that have really been working at it, possibly at the cost of their degree. But who are we to judge? You know, and are putting some really good showings and are some very, very strong teams.
Absolutely. York are certainly one to look out for. But, I mean, Lancaster, for me, they've really, really got a fantastic team about them. The fact that they were able to drop Experilis, basically, for what could possibly be an even better player. I mean, Experilis last season was probably the second or third best player.
In fairness, I think it was Experilis, if I can just be
He's
so rude to interrupt.
no, then I am absolutely wrong with what I'm saying.
It's
Disregard
his own fault for
everything.
changing his name, though.
Exactly.
In
Not
all honesty,
if you're gonna mix up your name, right?
at least
fair
make
play.
it some kind of an extension or shortened
Yeah.
version of your old name, right?
Don't make me look like a fool. I do that on my own. Come on.
No, for sure though. I mean, there is a point to be made that he's definitely improved.
Oh,
Right? He was never
definitely.
a bad player, but in the game that we saw just then, he was absolutely on fire, to say the least. So yeah, it's really looking good going into the next few weeks of the NUEL, of the Spring Championship. I'm sure we'll be seeing more of those two teams in the future. But that's pretty much going to be it for this evening. We've not got any more games to cover. 2 a week for the next few weeks, and then of course we get into the quarterfinals, semi-finals, where it will be the best of 3, and then eventually the best of 5 for the final in the end. But yeah, so from myself and from Stealth, that's going to be it. I don't know if you've got anything else to add to the end of that one, Chris, or
Carry
if you're
around
all-
post-it notes.
Okay, there you go.
Words
Message of the day, boys. Carry around post-it notes wherever you go. Make sure they can stick to screens though, otherwise you might tilt yourself before doing something important.
Facts.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all we've got. Some good Counter-Strike this evening, some good tidbits, some good words of wisdom. So thank you very much for watching. If you've been here for both games this evening, we thank you very much indeed. Do be sure to check out all the sponsors. We are really, really happy this season to have pulled in, you know, a lot more people to help us out and to support us here at the NUEL. And of course, do be sure to check out all the social medias of everyone involved in the NUEL. I'm sure they're around here somewhere. It really does help to see a little bit of community support. But other than that, that's going to be it from us this evening. Just take us with a little bit of music on the out for this evening, and then we shall be back same time next week, about 7:15 next week, touch wood, hopefully everything will be in order. There'll be no issues. We were pretty safe this week, I think, to be fair. But as we had in the second game, you know, sometimes players just struggle with joining servers. But either way, bar any issues, 7:15, we will see you there next time.